yeah, so coming up next, we're going to be having the winners match. Whoever wins this best 2 out of 3 moves on to the semifinals, and the loser heads to the losers match to play against Garrett. So let's go.
Number and Flatch, here we go. Submarine LE.
A Zerg! The only Zerg! Because everybody goes, look at the creepy, crawly alien things. I don't want to be that race.
Oh, yes. Okay, here we go. Spawning here in the bottom right corner. We have none other than Number playing the Zerg.
Ooh! In the top left corner, we have the blue Protoss, Flatch.
Okay, let's see what kind of build our friend Number goes for here today. So we've got an Overlord coming up, we've got a Drone coming up. Nothing out of the ordinary so far. Curious to see what's going to happen here.
It's a 13 pool.
He's going for a 14 spawning pool again.
Was it 14?
Yep, it was at 14.
I guess I like that pretend build. It gets you a little bit extra minerals.
It is. I think it actually is a build in ZVZ because it's a good way to counter early Zerg cheese, right?
Yeah.
So if your opponent goes for a 12 pool, if you go for a 14 pool, you should be okay. You should still be able to have the eco advantage. But in ZVP and ZVT, where you normally don't have anything quite like a Ling Flood, you usually don't need the spawning pool that early, so most people go for the hatch first. Unless, of course, they're going to go for some early game aggression themselves. In which case, an early hatch or an early spawning pool is not a bad idea.
Well, if I remember correctly, this is a Zergling Flood.
I think that's probably what's going to happen. We have Flatch going with this trusty 2-gate build here. Gate finishes up. Second gate's about halfway done. Actually really curious to see what's... I know he's going to go for Zealots, because he can't really build anything else. Okay, yeah, first Zealot's starting to come up now.
2 Zerglings on their way across the map, going to make sure that there will be no second base. Doesn't look like that was really a plan, though.
Yeah, it does appear to be the case. Yeah, at this point, I'm not sure what... it looks like Flatch is going for his Cyber Core. He's floating quite a few minerals at this point, though. I wouldn't have minded seeing him go down and try to take the second base. But looks like the Zerglings down there wouldn't have allowed it anyway, so maybe he just had Spidey sense going here. He was like, oh, not going to be able to do anything with that. Okay. We got 2 Zealots against 4 Zerglings. This is going to go really well for the Zealots. Zealot does get a little bit of life damage, but all in all, the Zerglings are no match for the power of the Kala.
Gotta snip that twig right off your head, dude. Here comes Banelings. Whoop, whoop.
Oh no. I'm thinking this is going to be a Baneling bust, folks. Alright. We have ourselves several Zerglings out at this point. 12 Zerglings.
E-Beast decided he no longer wanted to watch.
That is correct. Okay.
Uh-oh. Mistake.
They're headed across the map.
Guess what his mistake is? His mistake is... he came from behind!
Indeed.
Leaving your Zealots out and about.
Here come the fat Zerglings. They're just gonna say, hey, what's up, everybody? We're just gonna go run into the base here. Okay. Actually, those Zerglings get pretty much nothing done.
Wow.
I was thinking, we were gonna see some great thing there, but I was wrong.
Yeah, the move command through the base, you're like, yeah, Number's gonna move to the base. And then you're like, wait a second, no he's not, he's gonna attack the Zealots, and then he does neither.
I really don't mind Flatch's response here. I don't think that this is a bad way to respond. I mean, a couple of photon cannons and a bunch of zealots deal really well with Zerglings. Where he's going to run into trouble here is when those Banelings show up, though. As Banelings, they do bonus damage against light units. They also do bonus damage against buildings, which zealots are light units, and photon cannons happen to be buildings. So this is actually the perfect counter to what Flatch is going for, is to have, 12 Banelings about to waddle their way on into the base.
Let the Ling Flood begin! Again.
Again and again and again.
Yes, beautiful. Yep, come line them up. Line them up. On this map, being a Zerg is really, really unique and really nice that you have this nice little peeping tower that you can put your Overlord at. So at this point, Number can pretty much see that there's a few Zealots and there's a wall there, but he don't care. Here comes the Banelings!
And here they come. Yep, loses most of the Banelings there, blowing up the Zealots. Now, Banelings don't do well against Stalkers, so the Stalkers eat up the rest of those Banelings. All in all, that actually was a pretty terrible trade for the Zerg.
Agreed.
Not gonna lie.
But
if we look at the units lost tab, we have 40 Zerglings lost, and obviously a bunch of Banelings are included in that. So it's 1,600 minerals and 300 gas lost for the Zerg versus 625 minerals and 50 gas lost for the Protoss.
But this is the way of the Zerg.
This is true. Now, I'm not sure why there are, 4 Overlords moving across the map at this point.
Yeah, me neither. Don't know.
But apparently this is very important. They just wanted to come oversee this battle. They wanted to see everything get blown up by these bunch of Banelings. Okay, now we have these Zerglings have speed now, so they're very, very speedy boys. We got a couple of Banelings morphing in, which that's going to be a disaster if those finish and, waddle into a mineral line or bust their way through the wall or something. But I think that's probably what's going to happen.
The thing the Flatch had going for him at that moment was he did have all those extra workers, but the problem was he invested in workers and not into army. So this is when the Ling Flood comes.
Yeah, and you definitely want those units. He's got more photon cannons coming up. My inclination is they're going to be too late to save him. Well, actually, no, that's a lot of photon cannons. If they finish, they're going to shut this down for sure. And most of them do finish. But now at this point, Flatch is contained on one base. Zerg's going up to 3 bases now. And the main of the Protoss is starting to run low. So before long, Flatch is going to be running out of money here. Zerg's just going to keep getting more and more money. And I just don't see this turning into a good thing for the Protoss player.
One thing that I wish that I would have gone for at this point is a lot more gas. Oh, there we go. Okay. Speak it and it shall happen. Fill up that gas, boy! Yeah, I don't know what's up to do with those Overlords. I think that comes into play.
I'm not sure. You could, I guess, Number could go for some Dropper Lords here and just shuttle those Banelings into the main base, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. We do have a Void Ray. That Void Ray is going to be an absolute pain in the butt, so I guess that this is when Number decides to pull the trigger here. Decides to blow up a bunch of stuff with those Banelings. I mean, honestly, not a bad move, but
It doesn't really accomplish anything.
yeah. But it was probably the right move. If not, that Void Ray would have just sat there and tickled the Banes to death, and they wouldn't have gotten anything done. So We have the Great Wall of Protoss here atop the ramp.
It's like North Korea in there. Nobody's getting in, nobody's getting out.
That's pretty much how it goes. Okay, it looks like an Overlord finally got sniped out there by that Void Ray. The rest of the Overlords have decided that the field trip is over. It's time to head back home. Zerg now going for their 4th base. They've got 3 base pretty much all saturated. Going for Hydras.
What is
that's
Flash spending his money on? I guess he doesn't have a lot of money.
Oh no, he's pretty much got no money, as a matter of fact.
So many cannons, though.
Yes. And that's a lot of resources invested into cannons. I mean, that's 8 cannons, so that's 1,200 minerals right there, just invested into cannons.
But
which that's 10 stalkers or 12 zealots, that's a lot of stuff.
Zerg being on 4 bases means that you can waste a lot of your army, and if you can contain the Protoss like Number has, I mean, here comes the base. Let's see if he catches that. But like if you can contain him, then you can waste minerals because you're gonna have a lot more.
That's exactly right.
Here comes the Hydras.
Okay, the Hydras here, they don't have any upgrades, so they're kind of slow, kind of sleepy.
Here comes some upgrade. We have the
Hydra speed upgrade coming up, huh? It's actually really a good one to get. Otherwise, these Hydras are very, very sluggish. At least they feel really sluggish.
And we got Mutas coming up.
Oh yes, we have some good defense on the Zerg's part here. The Void Rays trying to get some work done, but the Queens are busy, shooting their spines at it.
Go, Brenda!
He does pick off an Overlord, but Brenda and the Knitting Crew managed to shut this all down, so
got
good for Brenda.
And these probes are just gonna die. What do you think?
No, that Hydra's just gonna die.
Yeah. No, it lives!
It lived. Oh, spoke too soon.
No, never mind.
Oh no, the Hydra or the Colossus ran down the ramp. Actually, maybe that was a 200 IQ move right there. Just baiting all the Zerglings up there to get fried. And all the Hydras.
Because that
look at the work that Colossus is doing. That Colossus is just getting a ton of value. Hydras are light units. Zerglings are light units.
But
Colossi
surprisingly, this isn't as bad as you would think it is.
Light units.
Like, sure, Number has spent 2,000 more resources on this, but considering that this is Zerg, that's just kind of what you expect. It's not terrible. Here comes the Zerglings.
That's true.
Oh, and they're on move command. Otherwise, he could have saved us. I'm pretty sure I'd get his expansion right here.
I think that is going to go down. There's just no way. That Colossus isn't going to get it quite fast enough. Stalkers, generally terrible against Zerglings. However, Stalkers, Colossi are wonderful against Zerglings.
That's true.
At this point, I wouldn't have minded seeing the Zerg player going for something more roach-based, where you see those Colossi. Roaches are generally a better answer than, say, Hydralisks. But if you can get Lurkers out, then, Lurkers are also great against Colossi, so... Which maybe that's what Number is going to go for here. Not sure. The Colossi are just... Man, they're having a heyday here. Oh no, but they walk right into the Queens. And the Hydras. Okay.
Goodbye. GG.
Yeah, Colossi do a lot better when they are dealing with things at range. Not when you walk into 20 Hydras.
Indeed. You need some zealots underneath. Well, anything. You need anything with your Colossus to help do the burden. And here comes some more light. But there's nothing over here. He had hardly any money. Basically, mined out.
Okay, this is still, really well fortified at the top of the ramp. That many photon cannons is not something you want to mess with. What do you do to break this if you're Zerg? I mean, one option is just to throw infinite stuff at the wall, which is the approach that Number seems to be going for. Another really good thing to do probably would have been to try and go around with Dropper Lords or with a Nidus Worm, something along those lines. Or even Ravagers probably would have been a fairly decent option. Okay, the Hydras and a couple of Zerglings found their way into the mineral line, and they just wreaked a lot of havoc there.
Ah, and here comes some Corruptors. Very, very useful at this point.
Oh, so useful. Did you get those to respond to Colossi?
I think so. I thought he would go for more. I mean, he has 3 robotics facilities, so it makes sense.
I mean, it does. The problem is that he's absolutely broke. I mean, he does have a new expansion up now, but it's not really doing him any good at this point.
No.
And here they go. We've got some Corruptors puking on those buildings. That pylon's going to go down real quick. Now, that ability does have a cooldown, so these Corruptors aren't going to be able to puke on anything for another minute or so.
Well, it's better to have this than it was in the old days. It used to be the Corruptors, the only thing they did was shoot the air. So now that they can do something to buildings, it's a lot better.
Indeed. And these Zerglings are going to tear through the base relatively fast. This is definitely a GG situation here. I think we're going to see Flatch tap out any minute here. The Corruptors head on over. Hey, they see the base. They're out on a field trip though, so... Oh, they noticed. They're like, hey, our cooldown's over. We're going to puke on this base. And that's going to be game, folks. He's not going to have any buildings left after this Nexus falls. Okay, so Number takes the game. Here we go.
Game 2 of the best of 3. Number versus Flatch. On Jagannatha LE.
I believe that's Jagannatha.
Jagannatha.
Yep.
It's
like, AT-AT or at, it's the age-old debate, which is the correct pronunciation.
Indeed. Starting and spawning in the top right corner, we have none other than Number.
And in the bottom left, we have Flatch, playing with the Protoss pieces.
Ooh, they're pieces? Dude, we should buy the StarCraft board game. I think it sucks, but it would be fun.
Should just get, I'm sure they have chess pieces that reflect, StarCraft stuff.
Oh my
That'd
goodness.
be cool.
That'd be so cool. But is StarCraft popular enough? I just need to get a 3D printer. That's what I need to do.
That is what you need to do. Okay, we got a pylon going down on the low ground for Flatch. Looks like he's going to start walling off here. That's smart. You definitely want to wall off in your natural. He's got a second pylon coming up in his main, which I'm not as big a fan of. But then here comes his first gateway.
Looks like Number has gone hatch first.
Wow, is Number actually going to try and play a macro game this time?
Probably not.
Wow, I was expecting that 12 pool again, or the 14 pool.
I guess you get a 16 pool.
Yep, there is a 16 pool.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I mean, hatch, pool, gas. Actually, usually gas is first, I think. Hatch, gas, pool. Hatch, pool, gas. No, pool.
Hatch, gas,
first.
pool. No hatch, pool, gas? That doesn't make any sense to my brain. It just doesn't have the iteration. Alliteration?
I think it's hatch, gas, pool. That's what it is. Because you want to have the gas so that you can start up your link speed.
Yeah.
If
Clearly,
anyone out there knows StarCraft, actually knows StarCraft, feel free to correct me. Oh, wow, there's already a forge coming up for Fletch. He's building photon cannons already. Apparently he does not want to get Ling flooded again.
Oh, look, a third hatch. It's a macro build.
Wow. I am actually mildly impressed that he is going for 3 hatches this early. Especially, when he's only got 2 workers in his natural. But the good thing about having a lot of hatcheries with Zerg is you can create more units quicker, so that's definitely a good thing. I'd definitely like to see a second queen coming up for number, but he's only got the 1 queen right now.
Shame on him. He should do better.
Really should.
Here comes
Okay,
the
well, we got
Zerglings.
4 Lings. They're heading across the map right now.
They're going to die to a photon cannon.
The Overlord's keeping an eye on things here. He sees the double gate with a bunch of zealots. Yeah, I'm not sure. Probably, I mean, if you can get the Lings inside the main, then it's probably not too bad of an idea. But if they just get held up by the zealots here, there's no way. Yeah, there's no hole in that wall except where the zealots are standing, so.
1 Baneling, though, and we have an Artosis Prilon, so they all go down.
That is true.
What does number even go for in this game? Look, another queen. Amazing.
Wow. So now we have 2 queens. That's really good. Would like to see a 3rd queen and a 4th queen and probably a 5th queen as well. But we've got a 2nd gas being taken in the main with a Roach Warren. Looks like he's going for a Roach push.
Woo! And not enough gas. That's what I'm seeing. If you're going for a Roach push, you need a lot more gas than that.
Yeah, you usually want to have 3 gases. So most will take the gases here on the natural, actually, and then they'll leave them 1 in the main for later. But yeah, you want 3 gases so you can get roaches, and then it's actually more for the Ravagers.
Yeah.
Because each of the Ravagers are 75 gas to morph in, so. Okay, well, worker count is looking very healthy for number here. He's 5 workers ahead of his opponent. And is there a Cyber Core yet? Yeah, there is a Cyber Core. Well, that's good. He's got some Stalkers out.
No Warp Gate.
Mm-hmm.
The Zerglings are there just to contain, I guess. And here come some roaches.
The roaches are coming across the map. They're waddling with their little stubby legs. They don't have roach speed yet, so they haven't hit the gym or anything.
They need a workout, dude.
They really need to work out. Okay, now there are how many queens? We've got 5 queens now? Okay, I actually really like that number. It's a good number of queens. A couple of queens for creep spread, rest for injects.
4th
Although
hatch.
I'm not seeing any injects going down here. Yeah, there is the 4th hatch coming up. I'm not sure what I think about this hatchery location.
It's a little far.
I'd almost prefer to take my 4th hatch there, because you've already got creep spread in that area. And this one, it is nice that it's on the high ground, but you've got the low ground in between. So if someone tries, pushing up this ramp, it's real easy for this base to get cut off.
Got some Void Rays coming.
Oh man, he's been watching Matt's games.
Oh, I see.
Taking notes from Makinator.
I see that you have Zerglings, Roaches, and Ravengers. I must need
Void Rays. Void Rays out, or both Robo Facilities up, Twilight Council, Fleet Beacon, 2 more Stargates. He's definitely wants to go into Sky Toss here.
Poor little
The question
Zergling
is,
dies for the swarm.
is he going to be able to? Okay, we have the Corruptors. They're launching some biles, trying to get rid of that Artosis pylon. Man, did all those corrosive vials get used, or just a couple?
Yeah, they all got used.
Oh, okay.
Something
Corrosive
that I
Biles
noticed
come
on this
down
game
on
was
those.
Flatch did not micro his Void Ray. So watch as the Ravengers nail it.
Yeah, that is going to be a big problem here.
It's very important that number get these buildings that aren't powered.
Yeah, definitely should be focusing on those and not the probes. Definitely not the probes.
Definitely not the probes.
Holy cow. Well, we have 2 carriers and a Tempest coming out. And as of right now, it doesn't look like Number has any kind of anti-air.
And he just kind of stops. And look at that wall. If he would have attacked earlier, he could have gotten through, but now it's all walled off. And I don't think
It is all walled off.
Number understands that, because I think he just clicked into the base.
Yeah, now it's time to go home.
Nah. For the swarm.
I mean, he does get a couple of kills on the cannons, manages to get the Lings in, okay. Well, getting the Lings in is actually big. He gets rid of those probes, and that's pretty much game right there. I mean, Flatch is sitting on a big bank, so he can rebuild some stuff. Yeah, Flatch needs to get those carriers over to take care of those Zerglings right now. But as soon as that Nexus goes down, like, there's nothing Fletch can do to save the game.
Or so you think. He has 500.
Oh, those Zerglings! I wish those Zerglings had been focused on the Nexus there. Would have had the Nexus go down, and that would have been game for sure. But now he can still get resources. So, not quite game yet, I guess.
I guess not.
Got 2 carriers coming in.
Seems like...
And we have mass Zerglings. The counter to carriers is Zerglings. I'm pretty sure I have heard that.
Yeah, but not when there's 5 photon cannons at the top of their ramp.
Well, so far, 154 Zerglings have given their life for the swarm. The carriers are going to march across the map now, and a bunch more Zerglings are going to give their life for the swarm. Now, what's Number's response to the carriers?
If I had to guess, it's put a spire when the carriers are on their way.
I think that is the response that he's going for. Which, let's see, how many larvae has he got? He's got 5 larvae saved up right now. So he might be able to get 5 corruptors out.
What would you
Honestly,
do? Just not get in this position?
That probably would have been good. I think I would have built a Hydra Den earlier, honestly. Hydra Den's really, it's a lot quicker to build. Hydras are cheaper than corruptors, and I don't know. They do pretty well against stuff. Especially Tempests. They would eat that Tempest for breakfast. The carriers they might have a harder time with, but I don't think the carriers have upgrades, so they'd eventually pick off those interceptors and then just be able to snipe the carriers. Okay, the lair is under attack. What do we have on the production tab here? We have 2 corruptors and 7 overlords. Wow. Apparently Number really needed that extra supply. He knew he was going to lose a lot of overlords. Holy cow. Infestors came out and fungled some stuff. I don't mind the idea of infestors if there's anti-air, but since there's no anti-air, I don't think those really do that hot.
Yep.
The infestor gets locked right into the carriers. Man, it looks like the layer here is in a lot of trouble, actually. That Tempest is just dropping those supernova balls or whatever they are on top of it.
And it looks like Number would go for more anti-air, but there is no gas income.
There is no gas income. So at this point, what I'd say Number could do is just try and go for a base trade. Well, or not.
Or not.
That also works.
Yeah, I remember.
And I guess that victory goes to Flatch.
I remember that I was very incredibly upset that I lost this game. But
honestly, that was definitely your game to lose.
and lose it I did. All right.
Yeah, I definitely would have gone for the Hydroden. That's probably the. I don't know. I don't know if I would have been able to do it, but.
You know.
All right.
I love it. Like, if you've ever seen, oh gosh, what's that? The one with Hiccup. What's that? How to Train Your Dragon. In the first movie, and his dad, like, he goes in to fight the dragon. His dad's like, his whole thing is that he likes hammers and using hammers, and he like turns to the other guy as his son walks in, and he picks up a knife and a shield. He's like, I would have picked the hammer, and we're like, yeah, we know, we know. We know. You know, I would have got Marines. You can't get Marines, Jake. You're a Zerg.
Okay. Bottom right corner, we have Number playing with red Zerg drones.
And will it be a hatch first?
Looks like that is actually what it's... Nope. That drone is going someplace. It's on a mission.
In the top left corner, we have the blue Protoss Flatch.
Is this a dirty drone? I think this is a dirty drone. Oh my word.
I think we
Let's
should
see what
name
he's gonna do here.
this series between Flatch and Number the way that you waste 2 games and don't win.
Here we go. And we have a proxy hatchery. You know, I bet at this point Flatch has no idea, right? It would have been a lot better for him to put that pylon down on the low ground. I mean, that's kind of a good thing to do generally if you want to take the natural early on. Anyways, so you can wall off the natural. But now he's in the dark. Literally.
And he'll never know until it's too late. Spawning pool building. No gas, though.
Yeah, I mean, you want to get all the minerals and save all the larvae you can in a kind of build like this, so...
Oh, he
really
finds out.
He sees it. What does he do?
Oh, he sneaks out.
That probe, is that probe on a mission?
The probe
That probe is on a mission. Oh, I think I know what's going to happen here. Sees he can't take his natural there. He's just going to kind of abandon that idea and go take the base in the corner. I actually like that.
Yeah. Especially, I don't think Number saw it go by, so he has no idea.
That's probably true. Okay, well, we've got a drone coming up on the other side of the map. Is this going to be a spine-crawler rush? A very slow spine-crawler rush, but a spine-crawler rush nonetheless. Maybe?
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 Maybe.
Waiting to see what my boy the drone there is doing. We got another drone coming here. And a third drone. Yep, here we go. Here comes spine crawlers. We got one spine crawler coming up. Okay, our boy the Zealot is coming down the ramp. He starts going after the spine crawler, but he gets a little bit distracted here. Okay, yep, there we go. Third spine crawler needs to start coming up now. Is that spine crawler? Oh, no cancel on the spine crawler. Here come 2 more drones. Apparently this is the natural of the Zerg, not the natural of the Protoss. See, I really like the creep tumor here, though. That creep tumor is nice. None of the pokey boys are going to finish except this one. He's not going to last very long. Yeah, at this point, I don't know. I don't know if Number should have continued committing to this. But hey, it seems to be working out alright for him, so.
Dang zealots.
Yeah, zealots are pretty powerful, aren't they? Okay, now the forge is up, photon cannon's on the high ground. I think it's time for Number to go home.
I agree. But no, you should send more Zerglings to their death.
That is the logical choice, yes. I do like the creep tumor there, though. That creep tumor is nice. Too bad. Did that queen get picked off?
Yeah.
Or did she take a march? Yeah, she got picked off. Poor Brenda. Okay, well, so far we have 500 minerals lost for our Protoss player and 1150 minerals lost for our Zerg player. And also notice that Flatch has an income advantage at this point.
In everything.
Yep, he has more workers. He doesn't have more army, but remember his army supply is better army supply.
It's true. However, he did just spend a bunch of minerals on a forge and cannons.
He did. Which, I mean, they're not a good long-term investment, I guess, but
For now, they're good.
for now they are good. Hey Brenda, you should put down another creep tumor. Yeah, I am pretty sure our boy Number has no idea about the bottom left corner. Yep, he doesn't. He thinks he's against one base Protoss at this point. He's really against two base Protoss.
And that's a detriment.
That is a detriment. Man, Number's also trying to double expand here. Now what I would really love to see is for Flatch to put like a couple gateways or a Stargate or something here in the bottom right, so that, you know, he can hit Number from the side and Number wouldn't see it coming, right?
Yeah, it's true. Looks like the hatchery's mutating into a lair.
It is. Zergling speed is finally coming up.
Very important, very critical at this point.
Oh yes.
And here comes the creep in the Protoss' second base.
Yep. Now, notice photon cannons are detectors, so he can see these creep tumors.
He just can't get to them. Well, I guess he could with his
No, he's walled himself in.
well, he has a few
with his zealots, I guess.
zealots. Looks like he expands to thirds, so Number really misunderstood what happened.
Number really did. Yeah, I wouldn't have minded seeing a Zergling pop out here.
Yeah, because
Or even like this Overlord. That would have been, probably would have been a really good idea to try and run it into the main base to see what was going on. Because if you went into the main base and you saw, you know, there's two Stargates producing carriers, all of a sudden you know, hey, something's not right. He's got more money than I thought.
well, even if like 4 Zerglings would take out all these expansions. Well, I mean, eventually, if he doesn't attack back.
That's true. A handful of Zerglings could have really done those in.
Number is getting a Spire, but it does take a year and a half to build.
Spire is a very long building structure. That is true. Which is why if you need anti-air in a pinch, the Hydrogen is probably a little bit better.
Good thing carriers also take a year and a half to build.
That is true.
Ooh,
2 carriers are out so far.
4th base, technically 5th base for Number.
Yeah, the only thing I'm not liking about him taking that base is he still doesn't have saturation on his other bases. Right. Okay, we got 2 carriers and a Tempest. That seems to be the composition that Flatch really likes.
And there goes that base.
Yeah, that base is currently history. I wouldn't even mind seeing those spine crawlers uproot and walk home. That would be kind of fun. Okay, the drones, they're getting out of there. They're like, yeah, we can't deliver minerals here anymore. The spine crawlers are going to give their lives for the swarm. And now we've got Flatch pretty much on 3-base saturation. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 4 carriers producing at once right now. Oh, 3 carriers into Tempest. So he is churning out those Skytoss units left and right.
So Garrett, as you're a Zerg player and you see all these signs, what's your goal? What do you
Well, right now, so as soon as I see that he's got a carrier out, I'm like, where is he getting his money? So I send a Zergling to run around and scout the other bases. And then I just try and cut off his income is probably the first thing. And then try and get anti-air as the second thing.
do? Looks like Number can see that there is another base.
Yep, he's spreading creep to the next base right now.
But Protoss is
No.
smart. They go right where this creep is not. Creep is a StarCraft 2 thing, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure there's creep in StarCraft 1 as well. Although I'm not entirely sure. I've never played Zerg in StarCraft 1.
That's a formidable air army
It is.
versus
And 12 corruptors? 12 corruptors actually wouldn't do too terrible against this.
the problem was Number built overlords instead of corruptors because the hotkeys are next to each other.
That would be a problem. Oh man, did you see that poor corruptor? He
Yep.
just got spawn killed. Okay, yeah, there you go. Focus fires on the carrier. That's what you need to do.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, and actually this is going really well for Number. This engagement really couldn't have gone much better.
Yeah,
I mean, Tempest loses literally everything. He's got 4 more carriers at home and a couple Phoenixes on the production tab.
You know what it
So
was,
he's still
though?
got a ton of stuff.
It was the other bases. If the other bases hadn't been known, like, really, come on, Number. Look at your map.
Hmm
Oh, I
I
think
really would mind. Okay, here comes some Zerglings. Are the Zerglings going to go take care of those bases? I think they're thinking about it. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Okay, if this had happened 5 minutes ago, this would have been a really good position for Number to be in. But since it's just happening now, it's still good. I'm just a little worried that there's maybe too much Skytoss here. Well, if he target fires those carriers down right, that's not a bad deal.
Oh no. He has Phoenixes
Yeah.
now too.
He does. But Phoenixes, they're good. Oh no, he started producing mutas.
Yeah.
That was probably not the right call.
No. I think that I wanted something to shoot down.
Yeah, I mean, mutas are great for base harass, but especially when there are Phoenixes out, mutas get torn to shreds.
And that's pretty much the beginning of the end.
It does appear to be the case. I noticed the Vespine income seems to be pretty low for Number in both of these games. Yeah, he's got extractors built up here at his 3rd, but no drones in the extractors. So that's probably a problem there.
You think?
Yeah, possibly. Oh, those poor corruptors getting spawn killed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is GG status right here. In the meantime, Flatch has been able to rebuild 10 of his 16 probes at his, I guess it's his third.
But number still doesn't know about the bottom left. Yeah, no
Yep.
idea. And no way to combat the carriers, so. Except there's a bunch of spore crawlers that are just in the middle of the map.
Oh yeah, they're just chilling. They're on vacation. They're like, this is a good place to put down our roots. Hive's gonna go splode right now. There we go. And yeah, that's pretty much it, folks.
Numbers like, where's your other base? Because you have too much.
Mm-hmm. Notice there are 4 more carriers in the production tabs.
Oh,
The
and there's 4
standards.
more that just popped out. So yeah, this is 100% GG. But no, he has spore crawlers. Clearly, those are the answer.
Yeah, spore crawlers are really good, and there's even some hydras. But this is kind of a critical mass of carriers. I mean, if he actually microed the carriers and tried to focus fire down those spore crawlers, this would be over really quickly. And there's GG.
And it is. Flatch winning 2-1, moving on to the finals.
Indeed.